Today I'm going to show you the magic of cooking up ground beef in your air fryer. It's the easiest and most hands-off way to cook up ground beef. Plus, I've got 4 easy dinners to help you utilize that ground beef, and they'll be ready in less than 20 minutes. My name is Kathy, and on this channel I help people actually use their air fryer. Today's recipes are going to be so great as make-ahead meals or freezer meals, which I absolutely love because it helps save time and money. And another way I really love saving time and money is to automate the way I do my grocery shopping. For example, lately I've been getting high quality meat delivered to my front door. So I'm really excited to share that today's video is sponsored by ButcherBox. It is such a convenient way to get high quality meat delivered right to your doorstep every single month. I'm talking about grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, and a whole lot more. And honestly, it feels really good knowing that I'm getting humanely raised products that have no antibiotics or added hormones, and I can feel good about feeding that to my family. And what's super cool is if you sign up using that special link down in the video description, you can get free grass-fed ground beef for life. Yay! No, I'm not kidding. Now that is a limited time offer, but get all the details down in that link below. Also, I'll list out all of the recipes down in those video notes as well, and they can all be easily adapted either for a large family or just for one person. So are you ready to see these? Let's go. This one I've made a ton of times in the oven. I'm adapting it for the air fryer today, and it's a fantastic low carb recipe, just like 1 carb per serving. You only need 4 ingredients: ground beef, some taco seasoning, eggs, and cheese. And then I'm using some silicone muffin liners. The first thing we're gonna do is cook up the ground beef. And if you haven't seen me do this in the air fryer yet, you can just tell me thank you in the comments below. So the first thing you want to do is kind of break your meat apart. We definitely don't want to put a big old blob of meat down in the air fryer. So you can use a knife, or you could use your hands, whatever you want to break it up a little bit. Then you can just plop it right there in your air fryer. You don't even have to preheat if you don't want to. Crumble it up, spread it apart, and at this point I don't even season it. Then I'm gonna pop it in the air fryer, crank it up to 380, and then you can cook it for 4 minutes. And we'll go from there. That's cooking. Get 6 eggs in a large bowl, and we'll beat them up. I really like using my immersion blender for this part, but you can use a fork or a whisk. Okay, the first 4 minutes is done, and look, it's looking fantastic already. At this point, you will want some sort of silicone tool that won't scratch up your air fryer, and just break up the meat and stir it around. You can see that this is cooking really nicely. Okay, once you have it kind of broken up again, it's time to season it. Today I'm going to do about 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning for this recipe. That's the key thing. You just want to season it after it's partially cooked. Since this is looking so good, I'm just going to go about 3 more minutes, and this time I'm going to drop it down to 350. While that finishes up, I'm going to throw in about a cup of cheese and stir it up some more. And now, ta-da! Look at this. This is the magical part of it all. Right here, there's all your grease from your meat. And wow, I'm surprised that that's not a ton of grease from this grass-fed beef. Cool. Now go ahead and just drop that on a paper towel if you want to get any remaining grease out. And I will just pat that dry a little bit. Not too shabby. Now go back to that egg mixture, and you're just going to drop the ground beef right inside. And then just mix all of that up together. And it's time for step 2. You can just get some paper towels and quickly wipe out the excess grease. Someone suggested I feed this to my dogs, but I don't know about that. And then when that's mostly clean, you can just quickly wash that out. It's the quickest ground beef cleanup ever. Now I'm just gonna place some silicone muffin liners right in the air fryer. And I have found with silicone, it just goes better if you spray the insides. That way the food doesn't stick. Then get like a 1/4 cup measuring cup, and then get your mixture and fill each one of these little cups. The liquid does tend to kind of sink to the bottom, so I usually like to dunk down low and fill up my measuring cup there. And I promise you, these are gonna be so delicious. When I make these in the oven, I use these little mini muffin liner things, and I can get about 30 to 36 of them. But in the air fryer, I can get this into 10 of these muffin liners, but only 9 will fit. But I'm gonna squeeze that 10th one in there. We'll make it work. Pop it in the air fryer, Let's go with 330, and I'm gonna start with 10 minutes. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's take a peek. Ooh, check it out. Now, like I said, this is the first time I'm making these in the air fryer, so I'm not quite sure on the time. And I'm guessing they might need just a little more, mostly because I want that egg cooked all the way through. And I'm just gonna top these with a little more cheese as I give them just a few more minutes of cook time. So let's turn this back on to 330, and I'm gonna give it about 3 more minutes. And let's take a peek here. Hey, that's looking good. Quick temperature check, it's up to 165, 170. We're gonna let these rest. You just serve these with sour cream, some salsa, and they're awesome to freeze for later. You could just flash freeze and then throw them in a Ziploc bag. You can eat them with your hands or with a fork. So good. Now, I've had some requests for air fryer empanadas. Disclaimer, I'm just your little gringo here, which means I'm just a white girl and I'm not gonna do an awesome job cooking authentic Latino or South American food here. So bear with me. You need something called discos, or you could make like the pastry from scratch. I couldn't find the discos. It looks like disco, I don't know. I couldn't find those in my store, so I opted for Pillsbury French bread. And here's what you need for the filling. And honestly, the filling could be whatever, but I'm gonna be cutting up some onion and pepper. I've got cumin, oregano, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and some tomato sauce, and not the protein. And of course, I told you I'm using this Pillsbury French bread dough today. You could buy a pre-made pie crust or make something from scratch. So I've got my ground beef here in the air fryer. This time I'm gonna add in that onion and pepper that I chopped up. They're just finely minced. And I told you how I like to do the seasonings at the halfway point. But with these minced veggies here, I do want them to get that full cook time. So let's pop them in. And remember, if you have the older model of the Kasori, just click one of these top 4 buttons. That's gonna turn on the shake reminder. And then you can adjust the time and temperature. So I'm gonna go with 7 minutes, and we will stir it at the halfway point. While that's cooking, I'm gonna gather up my spices here. So I'm doing a half teaspoon of each, the cumin, garlic powder, oregano, and then a half teaspoon of each, salt, pepper, paprika, and some onion powder. Then we'll pop that in the meat here in just a second. All right, here we go. Let's take a peek. This time it doesn't seem to be cooking as quickly, probably because I have all those veggies in. So I'm gonna just mix it up and pop it back in. All right, let's take a peek now. The veggies are looking more translucent. And some people wonder, why don't I take the temperature of ground beef? And that is just because I can usually just look. Like if you see pink, it's not all the way cooked. So definitely we need a few more minutes on this, but now is when I'm going to add in those spices. Just sprinkle those on top, and let's stir that up. Oh, this is gonna be fantastic. I think we're good to throw this in for just about 2 more minutes. There we go. Does that ground beef smell so good? Does it? Huh? Yes, it does smell good. And now it's looking just really nice. While I let that meat cool, I went ahead and cut up my French bread dough, and I'm rolling them out so they're about the width of my hand here. To make it easier, I put my meat in this big bowl, and I'm gonna add in 4 ounces or about a half cup of some tomato sauce. Throw in just a couple tablespoons of water. There we go. You will want to lightly spray your air fryer, then place about 2 tablespoons of meat on half of the dough here. Maybe it was 3, I don't know. Go ahead and fold that over. And what I'm learning is that this French bread dough is really fluffy and just kind of bounces back up. So go ahead, whatever you have, your pie crust, this dough maybe just doesn't make it look super authentic, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna taste good. There we go. And just pop it right into your air fryer basket. Then just brush on a little egg wash. And we're gonna cook these at 350 for 8 minutes. Okay, it's been about 6 minutes, maybe a little longer, and I decided to peek, and they really look like they are good and done. Now you could make up a whole bunch of these. You could eat them all up. You could freeze them for later, or you could just freeze your extra meat. It'll be great for tacos. You could use it another night for empanadas. You could use it on a salad. Lots of options. It's so nice to have frozen cooked meat ready to go. I am so excited to give these a try. good flavor. I think that the French bread dough probably was not the best choice. It sure makes it a little more chewy than probably like a pie crust would, but the filling is fantastic, so give this one a try. I've shown you how to make frozen hamburger patties in the air fryer. Now I'm gonna show you how to make them from scratch. Today I'm gonna use up a pound of ground beef, some garlic powder, pepper, salt, and Worcestershire sauce. I think seasoning your meat before you form the patties is just the way to go. So I've got a half teaspoon of the garlic powder, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, and that was a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And I just like to get my gloved hands and get right in there, mix it all up. It smells so good. And then with this 1 pound, you can form 3 patties if you want larger ones, or you could do 4. And actually today, I'm just gonna make 2 patties, and I'm gonna do something different with the rest of this meat. For hamburger patties, I really do like to preheat the air fryer, and plus I just washed it, so it's gonna dry the inside too. So of course the cook time is going to depend on how thick your patties are. I'm making mine a little bit thinner, as you can see. Air fryer's ready, and there's a sizzle. Just pop that in. I am gonna bump this back to 380, and we'll start with 4 minutes. It's gonna take about 6 to 8 minutes. It's just gonna depend on the doneness. Take a peek at these. They're looking good though. I'm gonna flip these and take a quick internal temp, and look at that, they are done. So I'm just gonna give it a couple more minutes, and because I've gotta have the onion and the cheese. Oh, that's gonna be good. That's a lot of cheese. 380, let's give it 2 more minutes. There we go. Ah, of course that would happen to me. But look at that one did well. I'm just gonna quickly wipe that out. Oh, it's quite messy, isn't it? I'll throw down a little parchment paper, and I just wanna toast my bunsies real quick. Give it just a quick little mist, and I'm gonna toast it for about 4 minutes at 350. The buns are done. Now we always make this huge batch of homemade fry sauce. I will link to that down below because it's amazing and I love it on my burgers. Got some garden fresh tomatoes, and it's ready to go. Oh, look at that goodness. I can't wait to have a bite. There's nothing quite like a toasty bun, the yummy fry sauce, and a delicious burger. Next, you've got to try this healthier version of an air fryer hamburger. This is the California Beef Burger Bowl. For this one, I'm using the rest of my hamburger meat and some bacon. I totally love how there's no nitrates or nitrites and no sugar. This is a nice healthy bacon option. There, I've got some chopped up bacon inside because this is gonna be cheeseburger bacon bowl. Let's go for 380. I'll hit it at 7 minutes, and I'm on my newer Kasori, so I have that shake reminder button. Here we go. Okay. Let's take a peek here. It's looking really good. Now, since this is already seasoned meat with the Worcestershire and garlic powder, I don't need to add any additional season. Plus, we got that fantastic bacon in there. So it obviously is still a little pink inside. So we'll let it finish up. Oh, this one is done and ready for my salad. And here we go. Get some onion, some sharp cheddar cheese, some tomatoes. Oh, I forgot avocado. Put avocado on there as well. Whoa, here we go. So good. Love this one. Hey, be sure to check out that Butcher Box link down in the description below to get your free ground beef. I've got more recipe inspiration for you right here and some make-ahead meals right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.